unsurpassed, profound and wonderful Dharma is difficult to encounter in hundreds of millions of aeons. I now see and hear it, receive and uphold it, and I vow to fathom the Tathagata's true meaning.
Okay, good morning everybody. As we mentioned before, actually this opening sutta was written by Wu Zetian. Yeah, we explained before, right? The only lady empress in China history. She actually wrote this because after she met Buddhism, she realized how precious it was, and because of that, then she wrote this. The best part is the last phrase, and I vow to fathom the Tathagata's true meaning, because a lot of time in our life, what we understand the Buddhism today is like at the skin level only. So we must go deep into what the Buddha said. Okay? So today we are at the second part of guilt. Okay? Farewell guilt. Last week we were talking about there are two types of guilt. Guilt due to wrong view. Once if it's a wrong view, you only need to get the view right. And a lot of times that wrong view is only concept promoted since young. Alright? Sometimes when accidents, we don't have to feel very guilty because it was accident, unintentional mistakes or blunders. Okay, all these we elaborated last lesson. Unintentional. So mistake, you don't have to feel too guilty about it. And then the lack of information. Because of lack of information, I didn't know. So I actually accused somebody. Then after when I know, I am so sorry. Sorry only, you don't have to feel guilty about it. Sorry and guilty is two different things. Sorry is that I feel sorry about something, but I don't have to feel guilty about it. Okay? Conventional and orthodox beliefs. If you don't get a son, if the man cannot make money, all these are very conventional and orthodox beliefs. So this one is also wrong view. That's why lead us to feeling guilty. And too high on the expectation of self. There are certain things that we over-expect of ourselves. For example, many of the parents feel very guilty towards their children because you cannot send them overseas, cannot send them to international school, cannot give them this, cannot give them that. Oh, this one is actually not necessary. Right? All this guilt can be addressed quite easily only with the right view. You need to do more investigation. And then number 6, insecure nature. We are always guilty because we feel very insecure. We want to be faster. So sometimes insecure people very easily, when they are relaxed, they feel guilty. They cannot relax. They feel you're wasting time. And not only ourselves, sometimes we see our children or our husband or wife not doing anything, we always push them because we feel that they are lazy. They are wasting time. Why? Because of our insecure nature. And when we are not on the move, we feel very guilty. So this one is a sickness of most of the people today. And that's why so many people are so stressed out. Okay, the biggest and the sneakiest wrong view, that means the one that is really quite difficult to gauge, is the wrong view of love and compassion. A lot of times, this wrong view of love and compassion, we turn it into something we thought if we don't do, we feel guilty about it. And that's why we attach to guilt. Because we thought it was love. We thought it was compassion. And if we don't help, we feel we are not good. We feel very guilty. Because we thought helping is being compassionate. Helping like your son or your child, you have to intervene. You have to do something for them, or else you feel guilty. If you don't do something, you feel that you don't love them. Again, is a wrong view of compassion and love. So this wrong view on love and compassion always lead us into very struggling situation because we are very confused. Must we help all the time? Are all helps need to be helped? All right. And when we don't help, how come we feel so guilty? Because the missing link is actually the wisdom part. We don't see things in totality. But anyway, sometimes we ask ourselves, are all helps really good? Are all helps really good? This one is a big topic, right? So if we have chance, we talk on this. Okay? So that one is one of the biggest wrong view. Okay? Next, we have another type of guilt is overdoing and underdoing. Okay, overdo is when we are exerting very harsh treatment, on others. Okay? Or maybe sometimes overindulgence. We spend too much money, we wasted too much time playing computer, we overeat, overindulgence. That's why the guilt will come out. After all, actually, guilt is not a bad thing. Guilt is only an alarm again, because it is the four emotions. One of them is guilt. Besides fear, anger, then it comes to guilt. Okay, so these two lessons, we are trying to learn how to say goodbye to our guilt. Okay, but before we can say goodbye to them, we must understand what is it first. Okay, so sometimes we're too demanding and too forceful. That's why we feel guilty. We shouldn't, things like that. And then another one, when we are engaged with illegal and immoral acts, sometimes we feel guilty. Okay, and this is overdoing. Underdoing is when we feel we are very indisciplined and irresponsible. So sometimes we feel we never give time to our children, things like that. Sometimes we feel that we're supposed to face up to certain things, we just avoid, we don't want to address the issue, we run away. A lot of times people say, no, I don't feel guilty, I feel not very nice like that. Not nice means you're guilty. And then after that, there's this one, avoiding and running away. So all this overdoing and underdoing, which we elaborated last lesson, actually tell us what is guilt. And on this overdoing and underdoing, two interesting friends that accompany overdoing and underdoing is your excuses and blame. Okay, for example, when we overdo, we scolded somebody very harshly. So then another person said, no need to be like that lah. Why you shouted at the person? You know what the overdoer say? I don't shout like that lah. You think he will ever get what I mean? If he's not so stubborn, I won't shout one. Familiar or not? Familiar. Excuses. We find excuses for our action and then we blame it onto another party. And then another one, underdoing. I have a friend, she actually never pay attention to the children, okay, because she likes to play mahjong. So when somebody scolded her, then she said, this one fated already. If my son is supposed to be dragon, he will fly in sky. If my son is supposed to be snake, he will crawl on ground. So no need to, worry too much. Wow, very good excuse. Use karma as an excuse, right? And then blame it onto the child. Your own problem lah. If you're good, you're good. If you're no good, you're no good. I can't do much for you. See, again, this one, overdo, underdo, finding excuses and blame to actually push our own guilt onto others. Because the moment when we blame others, we are actually passing our guilt to another person. So when we do things like that, actually what happens, the karma that comes back, it will be, this person will become easily guilty and blameful because of the karmic thing that comes back. And for a longer period, in this person, you will find a lot of sad energy. Very sad. Because this person has a lot of problem, cannot handle, a lot of overdoing, underdoing, don't know what to do, trying to run away, don't want to face up. So after a long while, the energy that comes up from this person are actually sadness, right? So that's why it will lead us to anger, the 4 emotions. After anger, after fear, it leads us to guilt, and then finally sadness. That's why a lot of people becomes depressed because the chattering box in our mind has too much of negativity, because don't know how to handle, don't know where to draw the line. Okay? And why do we run away from guilt? Because we are not ready to admit our mistake, and we are not ready to change over. That's why we blame others. When you are not ready to admit and change over, usually you will try to avoid, because a lot of work or change over. So I either run away, don't look, or I just, because the feeling is lousy, I pass to others. You lah, because of you, or else I won't be like that one. You know, sometimes in a family, a lot of this kind of thing. Okay? But you look at the person, she actually full of blame and a lot of easily guilty. You know, something happened in a family, say it suddenly either one or two of them feel guilty very easily. These sort of people, they are the type who always blame one. You know, this is something interesting. You go and observe ourselves, people around, my brothers, sisters, my children, my spouse, my parents. And usually we take on all the mirror. If my parents like that, I will be like that. And then you look, your children also like that. Because we are ignorant. We didn't know, because we didn't go onto the emotion level. You look at our psychology, it's very natural. Okay? And sometimes all this happening, we didn't even realize, because when the ego is at work, we are actually confused. Why? Because the story outside is so exciting, so happening. You know, the quarrel, you know, who is right, who is wrong. No, you are not like that. Well, actually, everything, your judgment is actually running behind already. It's actually the ego is at work. Okay? This one is present life, all right? Overdoing and underdoing. So, and the last type is actually past life overdoing and underdoing. Okay? Past life overdoing and underdoing, there are actually 2 types of people as well. Okay, usually you find people around you, 2 types of traits. You imagine and you just compare and match. There are this type of people whom by right you must say no. There's 101 reason you must say no to this person, but you just can't. Got or not? Laughing already. A lot of children, our children like that, okay? There's 101 reason you must say no, but you just cannot, you know. You don't know why. This one, no, cannot run away, past life over and underdoing. But that's why you cannot understand why. You know, this type of people just come into our life like that. Another one is, when this person with us always make us very angry. You know, we feel very angry. So we decided to leave. Don't want to friend this person or don't want to associate anything with this person. So you leave. After a while you left, you feel guilty and you had to go back. You just cannot let go, because the guilt always pull us back to this person. And you know this person is our past life karmic creditor. God, not this type of people. When they're together, always quarrel. So okay lah, don't want to be together, but you feel bad, you know. You feel bad, then after that you still have to go back. This type of people around our life, they are creditors who actually come back due to our past life overdoing and underdoing that cause us cannot let go of this relationship because of one thing, guilt. Guilt. Okay, so when we look carefully, a lot of this kind of situation happening around us, especially with family members. Okay, so among family members, we always give and we always provide. We work very hard. Why? Because of our family, our children, our spouse, my parents. Why? That's why, right? So you always provide and you always give. But the unfortunate thing is that we thought it was love. We thought we loved them. But actually, the truth is, it was because of the guilt we have to go back. Right? So, these two are either love or guilt. We thought it was love, but actually it was guilt. This one matters a lot. You know why? Because when we think it was love for them, we have expectation. How come I love you so much? I give everything to you. I work so hard for all of you. You all don't appreciate. Correct or not? Familiar or not? How come you all never say thank you? Not grateful, like I must do it for you. Like you always take for granted. Correct or not? Family members, I always give in, and yet they don't appreciate. Because you thought it was love, ma. But what if you think it was actually debt? It's actually debt. It is something that I come back and pay off. I feel better. I feel much better because I don't expect anymore. You get me, not? It's like a housing loan, like what we said. You feel bad when the bank didn't say thank you, not? You don't even expect that, right? Because you know that I'm paying back my debt. So that's why it matters. So sometimes it's better that we must understand what is this relationship, It's not that they'll take back whatever from me, I better run away. No, you cannot run away because this is karma. What we can do, the only thing we can do, give, pay happily. The day when we finish our debt paying, you can test. You see, when you don't give anymore, you check the guilt level. If you don't feel guilty anymore, sadhu, that means no more. Finish. If you still feel guilty, don't struggle lah. Give lah. Not yet finished. So don't get angry, or else the principal will add on more interest. Don't feel angry. Pay, give. After all, you come here, what you do? We have 24 hours. If you don't pay your debt, what do? Pay lah. You work also, isn't it? You take care of them, isn't it? You cook for them, you serve them, you pay for their education, you let them scold you a bit, all this God lah, never mind lah, happy a bit, because your debt is reducing. That's why we have to be wise, to know all the relationship, actually what is happening. If you are unwise, we feel very hurt most of the time because we don't know what's happening. Okay, so next thing. And then we also mentioned guilt can be reduced by punishment. We are talking about people going to jail, at least they don't feel so bad. Those hit and run people, actually sometimes I really don't understand why they run. They thought they're scared of the police, but I tell you the worst police is guilt. That's why guilt is not a bad thing, because sometimes when we're naughty, we need guilt. Imagine people around us don't have guilt. Scary, right? They just whack you and they say, I whack you because you are unlucky, because you just happen to be there. It's your problem. God knows this kind of people, right? So that's why guilt is not bad one. So guilt can be reduced by punishment. Sometimes go to jail. Sometimes bad karma ripen. Sometimes self-infliction. They beat themselves, God, these are all distorted already, the character, the psychology. So they sometimes hide in the room and beat themselves because of guilt. And then some people commit suicide. So the underdoing and overdoing, better not commit. Okay? So through confession also we can reduce our guilt. Sometimes you go and tell people, actually I was wrong lah, I shouldn't you feel better also. That's why you need friends. Okay? You need good friends for that. And then number 3, sometimes you can reduce your guilt through repentance. All these are secondary remedy. Secondary, they are not ultimate, because you are trying to reduce your guilt only. How can we actually not allow guilt arise? Isn't it better? Because the Buddha said, this samsara itself is rising and falling all the time. Rising, falling, rising, falling. If you want to get out of samsara, or you want to end your suffering, you better do not arise. 不生不灭 we call. Do not arise, then you do not have to perish. You understand not? Because once the thing happened already, it's not easy to perish it. You don't let it arise lah. Then you don't have to do so much work. Alright, that one will lead us to our concept breaking. The breaking of a concept will help us not allow guilt to arise. How? You see, why do we feel guilty? Because overdoing and underdoing, correct? No? But why do you overdo and underdo? Because we thought something is real. For example, I thought being rich is very important. That is very real to me. Getting all the recognition by the society is very real to me. It's very important. So I start to fight with others. Because of the fighting for that recognition or the wealth or the position, that's why we overdo. When we overdo, we will feel guilty. But what if I broke the concept, think to myself and saying, actually, what is this wealth? And what is this position? What is this power? All these are actually not real. A person who is rich and powerful, they are so unhappy. Why do I want all this? So you break the concept, you go to the world and see people who are very rich, very powerful, with high position, very capable. You look at them, are they happy beings? Then you suddenly match with what the Buddha said. Okay? Once you break the concept of all this high versus low, right and wrong, okay? We always want high and right. We don't want low and wrong. You just observe when you are having conversation with your friends. We always try to prove that we are right one. We always try to let people know that I know better. My point is correct. That's why we argue or sometimes we defend. You say, why you put the thing on the chair like that? Because like that ma. It's just everyday thing, isn't it? But what are you trying to do? You're trying to defend that my point was correct. I was doing that because of this. And the other person will say, no ma, that's why you like that. But she wants to say she is more right. You get me? All this is happening every day. But it's just that we are not sensitive enough to catch all our ego is actually manifesting every second, every minute, every second. Right? So that's why we want all the high and we want all the right. We don't want the low and the wrong. That's why we are so tired in our whole life. You see? From a big thing like wealth, big car, big house, to an argument, I want to be correct, I want to be right, to any conversation, I want to tell you I know better, my point is correct, On the other hand, I cannot be poor. I make sure I can buy car, I can buy house, I cannot rent room, until the lowest, I cannot be accused, you cannot say like that to me, All these, we want this, we don't want this. We are actually struggling with too extreme all the time. That's why we so frantic every day. You see, look at the people today. Sickness, cancer, depression, committing suicide, or even some relationship all broken. We cannot talk face to face. Why? Because we are actually manipulated by our ego all the time and we are not aware of it. You see? So that's why the moment you want to get out of this system, you have to be really, you know the step back and repositioning? You have to do it most of the time. Because the samsara is too thick with ego already. But that doesn't mean that we cannot do it. We can. That's why the Buddha is here. If you cannot do it, the Buddha won't come already. That means we still have hope because we are human beings. We are not ghosts or hell beings. Ghosts and hell beings are very difficult. They are there to finish off their karmic debt so that they can listen. You get me? Ghosts and hell being, the Buddha don't go there and become Buddha one because no audience. Because they don't know what he's talking. Correct or not? If no audience, if let's say today nobody here, you think I will come up? Correct? It's like that. If let's say you want to talk and nobody want to listen in the family, you want to talk. What is there to talk? Like that. Why the Buddha come here? The Buddha know that the human being can. whether you want or not only. Okay? So, breaking concept is the best way to do it. Okay? So, we elaborated last lesson. So, this is the ultimate remedy. Okay, we finish off until that part last lesson. So, today we enter into the second part of guilt. Okay, we are still householders. We are not monastic, correct or not? So we still have a lot of decisions to make, a lot of problems to solve in life, correct or not? A lot of times the decisions and the problem we solve, sometimes we also feel guilty about it, right? Because you still have to carry on life. So for the Buddha, actually he preached middle way. And this middle way was mistakenly by most of us thought that it was for meditation only, right? Because the Buddha mentioned 2 examples to the monks. But what he meant was actually much more than that, which we elaborate later. During the Buddha's time, there are 2 examples. I tell you why we only thought there was only for these 2. It seems when after the Buddha was enlightened, he actually said, we must use the middle way. We cannot be too much of pleasure and cannot too harsh on ourselves. No need to become a Dhutanga monk. And you don't indulge yourself in the worldly world too much. Go into the middle, then that is the middle way. Correct or not? You practice the middle way. And then there was another Mahayana story was that the Buddha told a monk, because this monk was trying very, very hard, too hardworking. So the Buddha said, monk, practice is not like that. You must go on to the middle way. Let's say you play guitar, the string. You look at the string. If you pull too hard, the sound come out not nice, right? Correct? But if you too loose, no sound come out. You have to pull just nice. This is also middle way. That's why you don't work too hard on yourself, and here you don't relax too much as well. Okay, so these are the 2 famous examples that Buddha actually preached for middle way. But do you realize or not, most of the time we are using middle way in our life. Okay, for example, today the Dharma talk is 9:30. Okay, what time you leave house? You don't leave house 7 o'clock, right? Because you stay in Shah Alam, right? But you don't leave house at 9:25, right? Or else you will have to rush terribly. So you leave house by 9 o'clock. Correct or not? So what is this? Middle way. Okay? Planning, or all the middle way you must know, right? And then this middle way, you become slightly more complicated when there are other things coming in. Okay, so that's why we are going to use this method to handle all our problems and make decisions in our life. Okay, so this is middle way. There are actually 4 parts in the middle way. Why do we want to know the middle way? Our sole purpose is to be very fair, so that we don't have guilt. So that guilt doesn't arise. So why do you have to repent? Okay, so you use the middle way to be fair in all situations so that we don't have guilt arising and we don't have to perish the guilt and we feel good all the time. There is a way, but for householders because too challenging outside life. So householders, sometimes we have to know all these skills because we deal with family members, office, you have to make money, you have to raise the children, all these very challenging. So, okay, we go into it. The first part is actually step back and reposition. This one is our fundamental skill under 5 PAT. You can never do anything without stepping back and reposition. Like a helicopter, come out. When a situation arises, the first thing you must know is you must step back and reposition. Because stepping back and reposition is to pull yourself away from the emotion first. The usual example I talk about is you're supposed to have a happy evening or maybe a relaxed evening with your friends. You go to Mama store. So after everybody started talking, yakking, actually very nice. Suddenly talk about politics. Okay, start to quarrel. Okay, Team A and Team B. I also Team A, so I start to argue, and then Team B also start to argue back. So suddenly got heated up, right? Because we went into the story. So now, when you step back and reposition, you pull yourself out, you ask yourself, hey, what's happening? I'm here to have a relaxed evening with my friends. Why am I arguing with them now? This is called stepping back and reposition. Hey, what is happening? This is not what I want to know. Then suddenly, you woke up from that dream. Like for example, weekends, we're supposed to have good time with our family members, right? So go out, lunch or dinner. So the husband asked, eat what? The wife said, chin chai lah. The husband, the face, whoa, the anger shoot up. Eat what? What do you mean by simply? Eat simply lah. Suddenly got into the kind of emotion. Then as a wife, a lot of times we also started arguing. Then black face. Then suddenly you pull out and ask yourself, hey, what am I doing? It's supposed to be weekend, right? It's supposed to be family gathering, family outing, why are we here like that? Suddenly you stop. You stop the struggle and you woke up. This is called stepping back and reposition. It's the fundamental skill of all. Of course, you can use awareness. But awareness not so dynamic. People last time can use awareness because not so challenging. Now, with the era of computers and information technology, you cannot use awareness already because things moving very fast. You have to use step back and reposition. Okay? So the present moment, awareness, you cannot handle life. So for householder especially, you use stepping back and repositioning. Once you woke up from the story, you are not so emotional. Actually, this one helped us a lot. Okay, next. Lateral thinking. It's just like a helicopter. You rise up from the story and then you see a few directions. We call the 10 directions. The scripture always they talk about 10 directions. Actually, they are talking about our lateral thinking. Let's say when we practice Mandarin, the Mahayana, we call 十方, 10 directions. Means all the time we have to be very lateral. I must know what you know, and I must know whether you know, I know. I know that I know you know. All these are your lateral thinking. Hey, this one very important. If I already know you know, like that you already know. If I know, I don't know you know, Correct. So all these are mentioned in the sutta, 自公相. A lot of misunderstanding was actually all this because of that. We have to be very lateral. Lateral on what? Lateral on all related parties happen for a situation or a problem or a decision-making process. We have to be lateral on timing. Timing here, the Buddha said, 三世, past, present, future. What happened before, now, and then how it affects future. So you have to be lateral with space and time. Okay? And then, of course, place lah. We have to be lateral with all this. So telling you like that, very difficult. So I give you examples, right? So it's always good to use examples to elaborate so that we understand more. Okay. You use lateral thinking and stepping back to solve a problem. Okay. Let's say I have a friend who come and ask me. She's a lady. Okay. She was given an opportunity to be promoted as a regional manager. Should she accept? So what do you ask in order to solve this problem for her? Very, very normal, isn't it? Some people say, hey, I got this job opportunity, should I accept or not? So what should you ask, in order to solve this problem using middle way? the first thing I will sure ask, how old is she? You know, maybe she's in her 30s or maybe 50s. Because 50s usually children big already ma. Then accept lah. Regional manager, you have to fly here and there, right? So you have to check lateral thinking. Oh, 50s ah. 50s, how old is the children? Oh, she married late oh. Oh, the children only primary oh. Or like that, no. So the next question I'll ask, what is your husband working as? Oh, my husband no job oh. Then, what are you waiting for? Go lah. Correct or not? Or if my husband a CEO, then you better think twice. Anybody can help you to take care of children. You know, you have to ask a lot of things, you know, and then is it worth it? Correct or not? So all these are lateral thinking. So when you are lateral, you can actually solve a lot of problems already. Like this lady like that. Okay, so there are many. This one is talking about all related parties. The husband, the lady, the children, the job, you know, and your bosses, you know, the job nature. All this you must know. Okay, talking about another one. I give you another example. Talking about time. You know that every day you go to work, you pass by a new colleague's house. Do you offer to fetch her? Or maybe there's a party function at night, pass by the house, you want to fetch her or not? Do you offer? So, okay, if you say you offer already, that means in future how? Is it going to be every day? Suddenly, if I fetch her this round, that means she knows I stay very near, I can actually fetch her. So future how? I have to fetch her already, no? Okay ma. Okay lah, if you okay then okay lah. But you consider first. All these are your pointers. You give me lah. If let's say, I cannot lah. If I fetch her every time a lot of complications then should I offer now? You give me lah. You weigh all these things so that you're not guilty. Because it's not that I don't want to fetch her. Once I fetch her, I will give her a wrong impression that I can fetch her all the time. Or else I have to say no. I don't fetch her not because I'm a bad person, because I understand I will put ourselves into a very embarrassed situation. Because after that, how to say no? Correct or not? So you must know all these time. Okay? Place, lateral thinking. Suddenly somebody say, hey, come, tonight dinner, 7 o'clock. Hey, you better ask, 5-star hotel or hawker stall. Very different, right? The dressing, your budget, everything you must know. So, because all these are information. Okay? All this information will determine our lateral thinking. Why? Because I need to draw the middle line. In order to draw the middle line, I must know where is my area. Okay? In order to know the area, I must know who are involved. So it's very, very dynamic one. Okay? So for example, another one. My friend said very angry because fighting for inheritance. Okay? So what is your lateral thinking? How many people fighting? Brothers, sisters. Oh, is it? Fighting for what? What kind of inheritance? 1 gold chain. No need to talk already. Please lah, let go lah. Correct? You talk about 4-story shop house. I understand why. Correct or not? Hey, God, I have a friend fighting for 1 gold chain now. All the brothers and sisters quarrel. So that's why when we are very proactive in finding information, it helps us to make more correct decision. So that eventually the middle line will surface. Okay? So, a lot of times at the second level, which is actually lateral thinking, we can solve some problem, like the gold chain one. Gold chain, no need lah. You no need to find middle way, because it's actually you solve the problem. Okay? So, lateral thinking, the ultimate purpose of it is to know who are the parties involved, so that we have to be very fair to everybody. Once you are very fair, definitely you will not see guilt. And when you are very lateral, you are very selfless. Do you know that when you're doing this action, you're very selfless, because you're not free? So many parties to think of, You suddenly forgot yourself. Correct or not? So if you embark on this exercise most of the time, silently, your ego reduces. Because you have to think of this person, that person, that person, that person. Of course, you're seeing from your angle, but it's just that you start to think of others, you forgot about ourselves. Because your whole concentration is to find a middle way so that it's fair to everybody. Isn't it you're going to be very selfless by then? You see? So it's very difficult to be selfless, I tell you, you use this kind of skill. Eventually, this thing will drag your ego flat because you become very lateral. Okay, next. After being lateral already, the next thing you do is investigation in market research. Like finance course like that. Actually, this is a must. Okay? Why? Because the purpose for us is to gauge fairness. Correct or not? But if you have lack of information, cannot, right? Sometimes you accuse because you don't know what is happening. That's why your wisdom grow. Why? You need to do a lot of investigation on what is happening in the market. Okay? Because wrong information or maybe lack of information will give us wrong decision, and thus guilt arises. Because we didn't do our job. We didn't do our part. I give you some examples again. Okay? I used to mop the floor using hand. I use hand to mop floor. My husband came back and scolded me, say I obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD. You know OCD? So my husband come back and say, you crazy, you OCD. Okay? So I said, what OCD? You dirty. I'm clean. Okay? Argument start. Who is right? Who is wrong? The right and wrong is not important. Important is whether you accuse each other or not. And because I want to be fair, so that I don't want guilt. Right and wrong is not important. Important is, do you know that you overdo or you underdo? You must know, so that you don't feel guilty. So you need market research support. So what I do, I will call up 10 friends. And when you mop your floor, what do you use? Correct? What do you use to mop your floor? Then 7 or 8 said, I use mop lah. You use mop? Only 2% say they use hand. That means who is right now? My husband is right. I'm OCD. Because most people use mop. I use hand. Correct or not? And because of that, next time when my husband scold me, will I argue back? Yeah, my mistake. Because a lot of housewives, after they do already, they hear pain, there pain, complain. Then the husband get very angry. Then the husband starts quarrel. Because you want to use hand to mop, and some more you want to make others feel very guilty, and because I use hand to mop, that's why people will say, you OCD, what? Correct? So then you think to yourself, actually, I'm in the wrong. So I keep quiet. So that you don't overdo it and you don't accuse others. So you need what? You need market information. You have to be fair. Okay? I'm not talking about world values, I'm talking about practice, market practice. For example, you want to hire an accounts executive. Same thing. 5 years of experience, account executive. How much is it? What do? I cannot simply offer a price, right? I must know what is happening to the market. Let's say if I don't know, maybe the market rate is actually 3,500 now. Now some more can do GST, cannot do GST. Now no more GST, SST can do all this. These kind of people, how much actually cost you? You must ask the market. If let's say it's 3,500, will you offer 2,008? You will never get. Or you will get the not so experienced one. And will you offer 5,000? You won't, isn't it? Because you spoil the market. And you also lose out, right? So you must know it's 3,005 means around that I can offer you. So all these are market research. So we have to investigate and do market research. A lot of things also we need that one, in order to be fair. Okay? And then sometimes when doing market research, you need time, right? Sometimes the decision very close already. No time to do market research. A lot of time like that, right? So what do? So I ask myself, this is an imminent case already. Cannot KIV to make further research, I have to make a decision. So when I make that decision, I make with so much of conscious mind. I know I have no choice but to decide now. And even though the decision come out to be a wrong one, I won't feel guilty. You get me or not? When you know the middle way, doesn't mean that you don't make mistake. You still make mistake, but you don't feel guilty because I have already done all that I can do to make that decision. And yet, it turned out to be a wrong one. What can you say? This is karma. Fated already. Because you got no time. For example, a 38-year-old lady, she come and ask me which man to marry. But she wants to give birth. 38 years old, want to give birth already. So you cannot ask her to pak tor for 3 years, you choose, Imminent time. 38 years old. So you have to decide. So I will ask her, what kind of information you can give me about these two men? Because time is running out. Right? So you have to marry in 6 months already because you want to give birth. Your purpose is to have a family and your ultimate reason is because you want children. And time is not on your side now. You have to decide. Out of these two, whatever information you have, you decide. Even though you get a wrong one, a rotten one, you cannot feel guilty about it. Because you have no choice. This is your fate. You understand or not? So like that, that's why whatever decision I make, I am so conscious, and because of that, I won't make myself drop into the trap of guilt, even though the answer or the result can be a mistaken one. I have no choice. Again, with this skill, help me to salvage myself from this guilty feeling, because I make my decision very consciously at that moment. You understand? Okay, so I see whether I still have examples. Okay, with example better, right? So after this, I can actually find a middle way. Find a middle way. Okay, so maybe we discuss some of the examples. For example, I'm going downtown later, 2 o'clock appointment. I have to use the same thing, these 4 ways. Step back, I need to be there 2 o'clock. What time should I leave? I'm in Shah Alam, that one is in KL. Maybe I leave by 1 o'clock. Then, today is not Sunday. Let's say today is Friday. Sembayang. A lot of traffic jam. So I have to go by 12:30. All these are new information. That's why a middle way is very dynamic. It can sway. With additional information, the middle liner can shift because of your new information. You get me or not? So that's why you need lateral thinking, you need market information. So you become very skillful with this. Okay, so all this taking 1.5 hours to talk about this skill. But do you know that when you're very skillful, it's very automatic. It's very fast. You can make very quick decision, very brave, very bold, and yet no guilt. But you must go through this 4. You make it into a habit, a skill. You get me or not? Okay, like for example, a friend who came and borrowed money from me, 5,000. Lend or don't lend? Go right? A lot of people also have this, right? Lend or don't lend? I lend I find myself like very stupid. I don't lend, I find myself like very cold. Not a good person. Hey, there's something called middle way. You don't have to trap yourself. Either you don't lend, means don't lend. Or you lend, you're very stupid like that. Of course, I start to step back and reposition and ask myself the lateral thinking part. Who is this person? A friend. Somebody you know very well or somebody you don't really know. Then it will sway your line. If somebody I don't really know, but actually we were good colleagues before, we helped each other before during work time lah. So she come and approach. So should I or should I not? You ask, don't need to ask reason. They should give you very good reason. Who's sick lah, don't know what lah, need this kind of money. Possible, okay? But for us, sometimes we have no choice. After all the lateral thinking, investigation and market research, maybe not so because you don't really, unless you know somebody behind, or else sometimes you have to decide. We choose a middle way. Maybe 2,005. Maybe not so close. Maybe I help you 1,005. The rest you try to figure out yourself. Correct or not? You don't have to be either 5,000 or don't lend. These are the middle way. We have a choice. We always have a choice in a lot of things. Okay? Another one, let's say for example, that day I met with two ladies. We were actually three of us. They were sharing me the same thing. She said, one lady was telling me, you know, every morning I don't prepare breakfast for my children, I feel very guilty. I don't prepare because of her work. She's too tired to wake up so early to prepare breakfast for the children. Then I felt very guilty. This one is very normal. Suddenly a lady next to her told me, oh, you are like that. You know what? I prepare every day and I feel guilty also. Because I find my children cannot independent. Like that. Because every day she prepares, so the children take for granted. See? Use your middle way. Solve all your problem. Okay, maybe I do Tuesday and Friday only. I don't feel too guilty, and I also let them learn to be independent. You get me, So you have to always juggle with this kind of thing so that you are guilt-free. You see? So many things you meet with situation like that. Another situation I throw to you. I have a friend call me up, say that, she's coming over to KL for 5 days. Ask me whether I can take her around or not. 5 days. Take her around. I'm working. Okay? I have to think, you have to answer. So how? 5 days, I have to take leave, Don't accompany her, like very cold, Again, step back and reposition. Lateral thinking. Who is this? Is this somebody who never called you before, but once called you, asked you to take care of her? At that time, I'm so sorry, I'm not free. Lateral thinking, solve your problem. God, got this kind of people never call up, and never say hi, never have a conversation, Suddenly call up, say, I'm coming to KL, can you go with me, where, 5 days? Okay, I say, I'm not free. Correct or not? Because friend then this one love and compassion don't help like very bad. That's why compassion must come with wisdom, So maybe this person, because last year I went there, I stayed at her house 3 days, cannot people come. Different. So you have to know, you have to ask, who is this person? Or maybe relative. Maybe somebody, your mother's side, who has been very nice to your mom, your auntie or whatever, So, then it depends lah. All these are lateral. Okay. Then after that, you find a middle way. Like for example, maybe I take care of her 3 days or 2 days. Then the rest, maybe you have to take care of yourself lah. I'm available on these 2 days. So you don't feel too bad because you never take care of her, or you don't feel like a stupid fellow, you have to take care of whole 5 days. So after this, it will help you It will help you to kill all your chattering in the mind. Because if you take care of 5 days, the whole 5 days you look at your face. When you feel very stupid that time. A lot of chattering, because you feel but you dare not say no. Okay, because you feel guilty. If you don't help, you also feel bad. And then at the end of the day, you find yourself like very cold. Is it? So when you know the middle way, it actually quietens down all your chattering in your mind. Damn. I say 2 days mean 2 days. The 2 days, enjoy yourself as well. Okay, enjoy, I go. No chattering. If the fellow also a bit over, also never mind. Because I said I already provided 2 days for you. Correct or not? So all this middle way can stop all our chattering mind in our consciousness here. It helps a lot, or else we got so much of judgment all the time, Because we always sway by the situation, we don't know what is happening. We only react according to our emotion. We are not conscious of the what is actually happening. Okay? And then another one, I try to find some interesting ones. Like for example, fee charge on your client. Fee, sometimes you do discrimination. Why discriminate? Because you also have a lot of middle way there. The client not doing well, so now you give a discount. The client is doing very well, you charge normal And the worst thing is the client is not doing well, but living a lavish lifestyle. How? Got or not? Not doing well, no. Actually, all are living a lavish lifestyle on loan. How? You want to give discount? I would think twice. I try to think for you, but you never think of yourself. I sacrifice for you, but you are still lavishing on your lifestyle. I cannot give you big discount already, even though I know that you are suffering from a loss. You gave me this kind of thing. You have to have a lot of dynamic way of seeing things so that you don't feel guilty. Okay? Like for example, relationship between yourself and your spouse. How much should we love our spouse? Where is the middle way? How much should we love our children and sacrifice for them? Where is the middle way? This one, every day you face this challenge. Every day I say yes, 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 they will take for granted. They will never respect and they will harp on us. Or maybe we'll think of ourselves, don't think about them because we know that they're not going to care about me. This kind like that, you're very cold. So we have to play your card well because you're juggling the middle way so that you're not guilty towards your spouse, your husband or your wife or your children. You have to know. Like the breakfast preparing, instead of 5 days or not preparing, why not we prepare 2 days or 3 days sometimes? So all these the line is actually waving one. It depends on your information and your market research. Okay, so this is what actually the Buddha talk about middle way. Okay, you look at the chart I give you because just now too much of information. I give you this is the conclusion of the chart. First thing we reposition. Okay, then we next, after you reposition, you clear our emotion, you look at the situation, who are involved. Timing. Another timing, very interesting. Remember when we pay our saman? I'm very good one, no. Every time I get saman, I go and pay. Maybe 100 ringgit, I pay 30 ringgit per saman. Suddenly, they say, lelong, 50% discount, 10 ringgit per saman. This kind of decision you cannot simply make, Once you make this decision, you look at the timing. What about people in the past who paid? You will anger them, you see? And the next round, what will happen? Will I pay next time in future? I won't pay. This kind of decision, because when they make a decision, they never use lateral thinking with space and time. They just make a decision, I want to collect all the outstanding, that's all. But this decision will affect people who had already paid And next time in future, you will see your collection reduce and reduce, because people don't trust your system anymore. It's the same. This is lateral thinking. Oh, okay. So next, after repositioning, you have this lateral thinking. When upon lateral thinking, you can solve your problem. Okay, like just now the gold chain one. Okay, lateral thinking. Next, if lateral thinking cannot solve, the next round you go on to your information sufficient. Because you need to decide on something, but you don't know where is the line, because you don't know what is market, what is fair, what is not fair. So you make an investigation on the market. Alright, and this is called information sufficient. Once information is sufficient, yes, we can find the middle way. Okay. Right? But if information is not sufficient, what do? We ask ourselves, can I KIV? Do I have time? Do I have time? Like the girl 38 years old, no time already. Right? If let's say another one, you can use this one to check things like cancer. Should I use chemo? This one very interesting. No, you reposition, you have to do lateral thinking, Let's say if cancer happened to me, okay, who are going to be involved? And then what kind of treatment I want to have? You can do all this middle way before things happen, because sometimes you need information. Should I go for chemotherapy? Should I go for traditional? Should I do both at the same time? And what are the market telling us? Sometimes we cannot depend only on the doctors. Like what we said, we need to seek for, few doctors, and now not few doctors, few alternative way of curing ourselves. So a lot of times we also do market research for our sickness, like how to cure depression, how to cure cancer. People around us can happen, or maybe can happen to myself. So when I do this kind of information researching, actually I have a lot of time, so I can still KIV. But when you cannot KIV, you don't have time. Imagine when, let's say, sickness before us. Sometimes we are so traumatic already that time, so we cannot think properly. This is a good time for us to use middle way, to think of the best way to solve a problem which maybe you foresee can happen to people around us or even myself. Okay, so let's say the information not sufficient. Can we KIV? Yes. When you can KIV, go back to further research. This further research will bring us back to information sufficient or not. Keep doing. Keep doing. I can still buy some time. Even like, for example, young people want to study what subject. They can start to do a research before that also. Okay? But once time is up, no more KIV already. No, you cannot KIV. Then you have to decide consciously. Okay? When we decide consciously due to time factor, we will not have regrets and guilt anymore. Okay, sometimes middle way we can also use quantity. Okay, for example, my son asked me to take care of my granddaughter. Actually, I don't want. Correct or not? Got grandchildren. Sometimes I want my freedom. So if I don't help, I feel guilty. If I help, I lose my freedom. Use number. 3 months. First 3 months when the child very difficult to take care. Or maybe first 3 years. After that, that's it. Or maybe certain days in a week. So you use number. Depends on your lateral thinking and your information. So number is also a good thing to gauge. But of course, you have to be smart when you make this kind of decision, because your lateral thinking, you have to think of this one is your son, daughter. What if another daughter, another son? So you have 3 grandchild from one son, and then you got another daughter, that one also another 3 children. So altogether 6 grandchildren. How? You take care of this one, you don't take care of this one, they get angry. So you get me, So you have to be very alert, because else, right, this one easy to decide. What about continuous? Then another daughter, another son. You don't take care. You take care of this son, you don't take care of the other two. Correct? So all these you have to be very lateral. Sometimes like some people make mistake. Okay, like for example, my friend's brother, Along, because of gambling. How many times you want to rescue? Don't rescue. I like very cold. I'm the brother, no. Rescue. How many times? I hear before 6, 7, 8 times also continue one. So I also scared, right? So you use time, lor. The most, this round I help you. The most I give you 2 times only. You know? Or maybe 3 times. Depends on you and the relationship with your brother. You know? Sometimes, a lot of times we rescue our sibling if it's because of our mother. Our parents. Not because of a sibling. So from there, then you have to see your relationship with your mother. How do you want to console her first? You know, maybe you tell your mother, first time I help. Second time, come one more time, second time, okay, this is the time I'm going to give warning already. I help you this round, third time, no more. Maybe that means you give 2 times. That means after I do already, if the third time loan shark cut the feet, I also don't feel guilty one. Again, because I decide this one consciously already. It's not that I never help. I helped before. I help already. I give warning. You still want to do, all the best. Again, so you save yourself from the guilt of not helping or helping too much. Okay? So another one is like work and play. A lot of times we work too hard. We also feel like we are very bad, never take care of our body, or maybe relax too long, So you use hours to decide. So Monday to Friday, I work very hard. Saturday and Sunday, this is really time for me to relax. So you use number lah. Or maybe I work first 9 months, 3 months, I don't work. Depends on your work nature again. So you strike a balancing, a middle way. It will help a lot one. So, when you're very skillful with this middle way, do you know there's another very important and good part is what, when we are doing our part to find the middle way using all this skill, you know what is a plus point? A lot of people around us, they like to use guilt to manipulate our emotion. You understand what I mean? Manipulate. Means what? When I can give only this much, the other person asks for more. But I cannot give, they will start to use guilt to manipulate me. You get me? Like I'm very bad, I never help further, I never help further. So people use words, use action, this kind of thing to actually manipulate us. So with your wisdom, with so much of wisdom on middle way, you will know. You're manipulating. I won't easily fall onto your manipulation because I know what I'm doing. Again, isn't it is a very important tool because a lot of people love to use manipulation, especially family members. That's why you will save us from all this confusion. Am I too much or am I not doing enough? When I'm very sure of myself, okay lah, you manipulate lah. What is the next skill I use? Play stupid. I play, I didn't see. How? Because I know you are manipulating one. Why do I want to react to it? I play don't know lah. Then the thing just pass. I don't have guilt and I don't have to drag myself into all this struggle because I know what is happening. And this is wisdom, no. This will save a lot of our internal struggle. We play stupid because we have no choice. We know that this person is trying to manipulate, and yet I want to stay a good relationship with the person. That's why the Mandarin, there is this 大智若愚. You know what is it? You are very wise, but you pretend very stupid. You pretend very stupid. You pretend you don't know anything. Actually, you know everything. I know. But I pretend I don't know because I don't want to react. You get me or not? So these are wisdoms lah, okay? And then finally, I let you know, when you are very good with middle way, these are the goodness of middle way, okay? See, this one is a very important skill. Very, very important skill. You will appreciate it when you start to apply it. Number one, definitely no guilt. Number two, no self-blame. Why no self-blame? Because when I know the middle way, I will not be very cold, not to help at all, not to involve at all. Because a lot of times I blame myself for not doing enough. But with middle way, I don't have guilt and I don't blame myself. Self-blame, actually a lot of times I blame myself not because I'm guilty, I blame myself because I'm stupid. One is because I don't do. This one, self-blame, is because I do mistake. I mistaken already. And I find myself very stupid. So these are actually abang adik lah, one opposite lah. Next, when you are very good with middle way, your wisdom grow. Because of your investigation, your market research. So anybody tell me anything, I can help. Okay, you say you want to set up a business. Okay, tell me who you want to set up with. Okay, what are the lines? Where you better talk about all these properly first. Because you're very good at all this already. So you have a lot of wisdom, and in fact, you become very convincing one. Because you know what is happening. Okay, so your wisdom grow like mushroom. Because you keep on looking out for lateral thinking and investigation. Next, you reduce self-centeredness, like what I said. When you're very lateral, you become very selfless one. Okay? And then you become very creative. Why? Because you keep on looking for fairness, you keep on looking for a solution for everybody. A fair solution for everybody will force us to come up with new decisions that suit everybody. And because of this, you become very creative. Because you keep on looking for the line. Okay? You are usually a very good leader. Why? Because you are very fair, you are very balanced, you are very convincing, okay? You are very open-minded, and you are very far-sighted. You see very far ahead because of your middle way. This is a very important skill, and in fact, everybody can apply it. The Mandarin we call 不二法门. 不二 means two. You don't go to the two extreme. You go in the middle. Even in our practice, in our meditation, in the way we see things in life. So this 不二法门 is one of the highest level of attainment in Buddhism. Under the Mahayana, they call it the 不二法门. Actually, this one is very, very deep knowledge, especially when we are walking the path. When you meditate, there are three items, which is mindfulness, concentration, and your effort. So you have to use your mindfulness with concentration and effort. You have to balance the two, so that you don't have too much of effort or too much of concentration. And who is guarding it? Your mindfulness, which is actually your wisdom. It's the same thing, even in meditation, right? When you meditate, all the insight you see, actually everything is reflected in the daily life one. You get me or not? It's just that whether you can see the matching of it or not. Of course, the monastic will have a lot of emphasis on, meditation with all these insights. But as a layperson, we can still use it in our daily life. It's as good when you are a very balanced person. Usually you are very calm, that's why concentration, and you have a lot of effort. You are very courageous. And you are very hardworking. Okay? So what is behind actually is your wisdom. Same one. Okay? When during meditation you see your anger arises, you see your fear arises, actually all this is the same. All this pain in your meditation, all this sleepiness in the meditation are actually challenges in life. When you see pain, meditate, your anger arises first. I tell you, I can guarantee you outside, you meet with problem, you get a saman, you show your anger come up first. You get me or not? Because that is you. When you meditate, whatever you see, when the fear arises, all these things actually reflect upon you in your daily life. That's why meditation is good when you are very Very step back and reposition. You see yourself a clearer mirror because you are very intensive inside meditation. But we don't stop there. When we come up to our daily life, we continue on. There are so many skills and so many methods for us to continue to practice. And when you practice, not only your meditation skills goes up, your daily life, your problems, your emotion gone. Wow, that one is much more important, isn't it? That one is my happiness, no. So what? You can meditate, sit hours and hours. You come out, you don't know how to handle life. You get it or not? So actually they are the same. It's just that people don't associate them, you know. So this round is guilt, and then finally we must say goodbye to sadness. Under sadness there's also another skill which is actually very, very handy. When you know this one, you won't have sadness already. But you have to apply, You have to apply. Okay? So thank you very much. Sadhu.